Hi, this is Rick Eymer with the Palo Alto Weekly. We are here today with junior Mikayla Silverman from Gunn. She is a wrestler. At the state meet, she finished sixth after wrestling 8 times, 4 times on Saturday, so that she could finish sixth. She had to wrestle from the consolation bracket, which is much more difficult, and finishing sixth was a great finish for anybody, especially from this area. And it is one of the top finishes in this area. So let's just talk a little bit about having to wrestle 4 times in one day.
Yeah, it's hard. Like I can feel it after my first match, my first 2 matches. It's a very much a mental game, right? And like we train throughout the season, going to full day tournaments, like getting ready to wrestle, like long amounts of time, like in the morning all the way to like the afternoon. And so I don't know, I like it. I like that feeling of like having to push through the tiredness that you get from like your first match to wrestle on.
I'm sure adrenaline does take over a little bit, but have you ever had to wrestle 2 minutes after you finished, or is it you get a little break?
Yeah, there's a rule written in that there has to be 45 minutes between each match.
So you're going to be out there at least 4 hours then if you're wrestling 4 matches. So this is a little different this year in that they had it on an extra day, so it did give you a little bit of rest early, but then that doesn't leave you much for Saturday. But anyway, you had to wrestle, like I said, out of the consolation bracket, and you had to wrestle two people that were seated ahead of you, or you were unseated and they were seated, just to get to the point where you wrestle for the sixth place seat. Kind of talk about that mentality.
Well, I don't really like to look at who I'm wrestling first because it does get into my head a lot, right? If you see that they're better than you and like you go into a match thinking that they're going to be better than you, then they're going to be better than you. So it's the mentality that you have to think about, that you're going to win and you're going to do your best. And I mean, sometimes it's inevitable that you find out that they're going to be like ranked above you or they are better than you, but you just have to push through that and learn.
Now, they've probably been wrestling a little more than 2 years, which you said you been only wrestling a couple of years and still doing well in the state championship. So that's a heck of a thing. But what made it such a quick learning curve for you?
I don't know. I think I've done Taekwondo mixed martial arts for like 8 years before it, and so I wanted to try wrestling to actually like test out my skills and see. And I think it's a lot of I feel like I have a more body awareness, right? Mm-hmm. It just kind of comes naturally to me, which I really like.
Right. I've heard that Taekwondo, for example, is an art more than it is a sport. And I've seen it. I've actually seen demonstrations, and it's beautiful when it's done right. So you have to be in control of your body then. And I suppose that's part of the big reason why wrestling is so good for you.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's not the same, but at the same time, like, it's just knowing where you are really helped a lot for me.
All right. What do you like just about the competition in wrestling? I mean, it's obviously one-on-one, and you're in front of a large crowd. And how does that you get to feed off that, or you try to block it out?
I don't like. It's nervous. I get really nervous to go one-on-one against a girl, but the feeling afterwards, like when you realize, like when you go against her and then you win, it's amazing. Like there's nothing else like it.
Right. Now, I know you did win the SCVAL tournament title at your division, and that's quite an accomplishment. And Gunn is surprisingly has a pretty good history in wrestling. And if you talk about the girls that came before you, how did that help you?
A lot of them are role models for me. Last year, I had 2 consistent partners who were both my size, and we were all new, so we all practiced together and learned together. And one of them even made it to states with me last year, and it was an amazing time just being able to work with her. And then our captain last year, she was really good, and she's the one who helped me build my base. So.
Oh, great! So, what do you think of the future here in girls wrestling?
Well, I hope to be like my captain last year and like encourage these girls to like make it and place at CCS and go to states, right? Yeah.
Great. I know that, for example, Kayla Lynn, you're probably talking about one of them. She's a great athlete anywhere. She's in whatever sport she takes up. And, just to have those kind of people around, maybe they just want to try wrestling. And does it seem to be gaining in popularity?
Yeah. Oh, girls wrestling is definitely like gaining a lot of popularity. A couple years ago, there was only a few girls on the team, and now we have almost double digits. So it's been gaining a lot of popularity. I know for me, I just came in, say, oh, I'm going to try it for like 1-2 weeks, and if I like it, I'll stay. If I don't, I mean, it was 1 or 2 weeks of my life, and I fell in love. Like,
Great. So we've been talking about some great competition in wrestling with Mikayla Silverman. She's our Athlete of the Week, and congratulations.
thank you so much.
And if you want to find out about next week's Athlete of the Week, hit that subscribe button down below or visit us at pasportsonline.com.